Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Raise your lances high and defend the realm, for the Chaos Gods are marching forward as the Norscan tribes advance upon the High Elves. We have Xiphos leading the High Elves, and I have myself is going to be leading the Norscan forces. So for the High Elf army, we do have Teclis as the Lord going to be bringing Enfeebling Foe, Regrowth, Net of Amnantok, and the Potion of Croy. And he is going to be on horseback for this battle. For the rest of the forces of the High Elves, we do have a couple units of Silvern Guard, supported by some Rangers. The front line is going to have a couple of Spearmen deployed a little bit ahead, and some more kind of protecting the flank. For the range department, we do have some Lothern Sea Guard mixed in with some regular archers, to provide some fire support there. And in terms of mobility, we have 3 Eleven Reaver archers off into the vanguard, trying to do battle with the Marauder Horsemen. We also have the Fireborn Dragon Prince ROR unit with their fire damage, and that will wrap things up for the High Elf army. And now onwards to the Norscans. We have, of course, those 2 Marauder Horsemen backed up by a couple of Skinwolves. The front line is going to be Marauders, as well as the Icehorn Marauder ROR unit. We have 2 Marauder Berserkers. And for the leadership department, we have Wolfric the Wanderer on his horse. He is going to be bringing Foe Seeker, Seafang, and Hunter of Champions. We also have a Fimir Balefine of Shadow is going to be bringing Enfeebling Foe and the Pendulum, as well as the Scroll of Shielding. And of course, the centerpiece is the Soul Crusher War Mammoth, who is going to be assisting that frontline engagement with the assistance of some Fimir warriors with great weapons on top of that. And that will be our armies, as let's get this show going. So the initial skirmishing phase is probably going to be won pretty handedly by these Eleven Reaver archers if these Marauder Horsemen do try and engage in that little battle there, but they do have the Fireborn assisting, so these Skinwolves can't really pursue them pretty far. Otherwise, those Fireborn will absolutely eat those Skinwolves, and especially with that fire damage doing extra damage to those regenerating units. Otherwise, for the Norscans, it's a pretty straightforward approach. They are going to be just charging that front line and using those pendulums to break through the Silvern Guards, while the archers will be firing in, getting all of those nice juicy targets against the lightly armored Norscan forces. And of course, we have Teclis with his Net of Amnantok looking to snare down some very key targets, namely the Soul Crusher, potentially the Fimir Warriors, or the Skinwolves. So we have the Marauder Horsemen are going to be rotating around to the opposite side, trying to avoid these Eleven Reaver archers, and these Skinwolves are, for the most part, just going to be taking the shots from these Eleven Reaver archers. They do have their regen, so they will be able to get those at HP back, though they do lose 1 model by the looks of things, so they won't be able to regen that damage. But here is that frontline engagement as these Icehorn Marauders clash with the Spearmen. Those Spearmen will not hold for very long, especially with the Soul Crusher coming in to support. Now it looks like we do have a Net of Amnantok is going to be going down on top of the Soul Crusher, and so this is going to be an overcast, also snaring those Icehorn Marauders, and an Enrage is going to go going down on top of that Soul Crusher, giving him a nice 44% damage resistance, as well as the Scroll of Shielding. So those archers will not be doing a whole lot of damage, and we have a very nice Pendulum just arcing right through these Lothern Sea Guard, taking off a huge chunk of health. Otherwise, the Silvern Guard are holding firm. They will absolutely win against those Marauders. Silvern Guard need, or the Norscans need to have something to push through that. As here comes a nice Seafang doing damage to this archer unit, taking off more than half of its health. But here are the Fireborn surrounding this Soul Crusher here, doing a lot of good work, as well as the Fimir Warriors. Fimir Warriors actually do very well against the Fireborn with their anti-large armor piercing damage. And we have the Skinwolves are once again kind of circling around, but that Soul Crusher is not in a good way, getting focus fired by all of the archer units, pretty much all the range, even the Eleven Reaver archers, and it is going to be wavering fairly soon here with all of that damage, getting a nice little charge into those Fireborn, but that focus fire is likely to spell its doom, And now the Silverin Guard are going to be actually returning the damage into these Fimir Warriors. But another nice pendulum arcs through some more of the archer units. So pendulums have been on point today. And here are some Marauder Horsemen getting some nice charges in, hoping to break up that backline formation. But that Soul Crusher does shatter from all that focus fire, and it will be going down. And that is a big blow for the Norscans. But we do have Wolfric the Wanderer still at full health, and the Fimir Balefiend trying to assist as well, but this Silverin Guard needs to break. There is not a whole lot that the infantry is going to be able to do here. They need to assist with the pendulums, and Seafang so far have been trying to clear out those archers to protect that mammoth, but it was too little too late, as those archers did take their victim, and that Soul Crusher did go down. We do have some returning units now for Norsca trying to break through, as we have now some Rangers actually assisting those Silverin Guards. So while the Silverin Guard will be holding that front line, the Rangers will be dishing out the damage. But the mobility of the Norscans is starting to get into the cookie jar quite a bit. These Marauder Horsemen chasing off these archers. Norscans definitely would have preferred to have had that happen a little bit sooner. But now we have some Marauders kind of a little bit into the behind the Silverin Guard, hoping to get a nice little rear charge off and break them. They are shaken and very tired from all this sustained combat. But here are some more. We have the Lothern Sea Guard are firing into these Marauder Berserkers who are rampaging due to their sustained combat. But if we take a look into the back lines, we have some Skin Wolves that are able to come back before they made it to the edge of the map. And now they will be trying to chase off these Elven Reaver archers, trying to get a little pincer attack in. But Norscans are committing heavily to try and deal with this Silverin Guard and Ranger combination here. We do have another Seafang just going right through this unit of Spearmen, right as these Marauders do charge in. And another Pendulum arcing through those Lothern Sea Guard, doing a lot of good work there, trying to avoid maybe the potentially doing a lot of friendly fire here, but this would have been a nice meaty target. I mean, look at all these Elven Reaver archers and the Spearmen mixed into this blob, as the Norscans are starting to break some of the Rangers, but a lot of their units are going to be routing as well, while the mobility is doing a nice job of cleaning up all of the periphery units. Though this center engagement is going to be the main one to focus on, as we have Wolfric the Wanderer has his Foe Seeker Pot trying to get a little bit extra vigor back, and the Fimir Warriors, though, are starting to waver, and that will be a problem trying to deal with, or at least that'll be a loss of the mass and a problem being able to deal with those Fireborn, because those Skin Wolves will not be able to do anything to them, and those Fireborn will do a lot to the Norscans here. So now the Fimir Warriors do break, and I think that is going to start to see a slip in the balance of power for Norsca, as a lot of their answers are starting to get taken out of the engagement. The Skin Wolves still doing a good job of cleaning up things as they are starting to return, but these Skin Wolves getting caught by the Reaver archers and the Fireborn, and they will be just melting away, and that will be the end of them. So pretty much now we have the Fimir Balefiend and Wolfric trying to hold things back. The Horsemen actually do have a bit of ammo, but they're going to be chased off by these Elven Reaver archers fairly quickly, as they are now routing the Fireborn surrounding that Fimir Balefiend with the assistance of Teclis. And it looks like we have a enfeebling foe going down on these Skin Wolves just as they get into engagement with the Elven Reaver archers, and here are the Fireborn to come in and assist. The Fimir Warriors trying to help things out, but not quite enough, as another Seafang arcs through these two Spearmen and Silverin Guard, as Wolfric was trying to catch Teclis, but alas, he is going to be once again caught by those Spearmen and Silverin Guard. But here comes a lovely Pendulum just decimating that mass of Silverin Guard. But the balance of power is heavily in the High Elves' favor, and I don't think Norsca has a way of bringing it back, especially with the Fireborn as healthy as they are. Wolfric is not going to be able to deal with things there. He will probably be able to deal with Teclis fairly easily, but those Fireborn and the rest of the troops just not going to be enough, as army losses will take it, and Norscans will be defeated, and the High Elves will prevail. So if we take a quick little look at the after-battle report, those Silverin Guard are the anchor in the High Elf lines, as a very, very key unit, I believe, in this matchup. You have the Silverin Guard mixed in with those Rangers. You have the Silverin Guard, which will hold against anything that isn't really Seafangs, Pendulums, and the like. But then those Rangers will dish out the damage to the Marauders. Even the Berserkers will do very good work there. And when you do have the Silverin, those Fimir Warriors are not going to be able to get engaged in that frontline engagement, because those Silver Guard will dish out so much damage to those Femir warriors. Soul Crusher was a big loss for the Norskins in this engagement, with all of those archers focusing them down, even the 3 Eleven Reaver archers. They just didn't stand a chance to do enough damage to make that investment worth it. But the Pendulums and the Sea Fangs from Wulfric and that Femir Balefin did a lot of work onto those archers. It's just a shame that they couldn't have done enough damage quickly enough to break some of those units. And then in the late game, actually, the Marauders and the Skin Wolves did a great job of clearing out those back lines. But again, it was a little too late. They had done their work, as the Soul Crusher did go down early. But that was a very fun match. This was a part of the ECL. It may have been as much as a month ago. But yeah, that was quite a fun match against Xiphos. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. And as always, have a good one.